When? I'm seeing myself over here. Okay, so we're on page AYIN, and we're in the middle of the section that begins on this page, beginning and being smack in the middle, almost, and the line begins with the word de-atzilut. So the Rebbe was saying that oil in general, relative to the mo'ir, is only what's called metziut relative to Mehus. Metziut means a presence that does not emphasize what it is about. Why is it there? What's its message? That's what metziut. Like we gave the marshal of tables and chairs in a shul. Metziut means that something is there, but it has nothing to do with the reality. Where it is there, where it is, and so forth. That's metziut. Mehus is that which brings it there, which initiates its presence. Pardon me. And we spoke about this many, many times, so I'm not going to repeat it again. And so therefore, there is oil in general, and then there is the oil the way it is before Atzilus, and the way it is in Atzilus, then the way it is after Atzilus. Atzilus relative to the oil in Soif that emanates after the Tzimtzum is like a ha'ora relative to the oil. It's only what's called a ziv. A ziv means a shine. Let me explain, perhaps. I really never saw this discussion in this way, but I just want to give us a sense. What is the difference between oil and ziv? So the way it kind of processes in my mind, based on all the things that we learned, if you have a light in the room, as a result of the fact that there is a light in the room, a candle light, any place in the room, there is a cognizance in the room that there is a light somewhere, and there is a light. Even though the room remains dark, you cannot go and read on the other side of the room based on the candle light. But there is a ziv, there is a reflection of the fact that there is a light here. At the point of the candle, then you have the oil. So a ziv is like a reflection of the oil. Atzilus is a ziv of the oil inside. And the Rebbe says that in Atzilus there is a hasaga of Mehus haziv. The ziv, the way it is appreciated in Atzilus, is the reality of the ziv itself. Mehus haziv. Again, how do we understand these words? Mehus haziv, talking about Atzilus, and yet it's important for us to understand every word that is being presented. Like we said before, there is a candle someplace in the room. As a result of that, there is a cognizance in the room, any place, that there is such thing as light. Light, by our definition, has a purpose. It illuminates our way, makes us possible to do things by the service of the light. But here we have a light that we cannot really practically use. Nonetheless, there is a significance of knowing that there is a light. It's not totally devoid of light. Perhaps a better way to demonstrate it is early morning, the break of dawn.
To demonstrate what? What do we demonstrate?
The process of Mehus haziv. Dawn. Dawn does not yet provide any kind of practical illumination. Nonetheless, it changes from night into day. It's a real change. It's no longer night, it's no longer dark. This recognition of the difference between night and day, even though the day is still very vague, is very, very significant. Who can appreciate this difference?
I was looking at the sky this morning, and it was divided into one part was orange, red orange, and one was dark, let's say gray.
Who can appreciate this break of dawn? Only a human being with profound intelligence, to whom day and night is day and night. It's not just a functional thing. He can appreciate the difference between the break of dawn and prior to the break of dawn. There's no practical effect of it, but it's a different mentality, a different sense of reality. This is what Rabbi say. In Atzilus, there is the hasaga of Mehus haziv. It's only a ziv, but the appreciated the Mehus is the reality. Yes, the ziv or no ziv is a difference between day and night. I'm delving into these fine points in order to bring out and give us a sense of the intelligence that we ourselves were blessed with. Because the secular world has drowned out our intelligence, made idiots out of us. Whereas these sensitivities, this is what makes us human beings. When we stand up to daven Shachris, Shachris means after the break of dawn, you know. Are we davening because I can see what's doing the Siddur, or because the whole world has changed? What do I represent at the time when I'm davening Shachris? My own experience of light, of the reality of the world itself. So, the dawn, the whole world has changed. That's what a human being is. This is what we stand for. This is what a human being is doing in the world. But Menachem, he represents the divine presence in the world. Therefore, he has to appreciate and recognize and express the reality of the world itself, the divine reality in the world. Okay, having explained that, let's continue. Again, we are almost in the middle, a little bit above the middle of that section, page Zayin. The line begins de-atzilut. At the end of that line, and for this reason, okay, so this refers to what the Rebbe made a distinction. The oil the way it is in Atzilus, and the oil the way it is above Atzilus. Above Atzilus is the oil inside, oil itself. In Atzilus is only Ha'or, and the Ziv has Ziv. Except that in Atzilus, you masik the Mehus Ziv, but still it's only a Ziv. And that makes a very big difference. Oil cannot be put in Kedim. Aziv could be put in Kedim. Because it can be identified only by its function. Okay, at the end of that line. And thus, Hamadrei Yeshelamara Atzilus, the Madrei are above Atzilus, Hein Bibchinas Herlem Lagamri, they are Bibchinas, in the category of total concealment, totally hidden. You cannot identify what is present and what is taking place in those madrigas that are above Atzilus. Because the madrigas that are above Atzilus are fully representative of the oir Ein Sof. Infinity is not something that the world can understand. Cannot be explained. There's no gilui on the infinity level. Therefore, the oil in Adriga Shel Ma'at is Helam Agam, total concealment. That's called as Hagilui Hu Me'atzilus. The beginning, the first moment of Gilui, of revelation. Revelation means revealing what is contained in the oil. This begins from the Atzilus. Prior to Atzilus, it's not Gilu, it is contained within its source. Liyois, being that, Ki Hagilu Ba'elomes, that the Gilu in world, what can be revealed in the world is not only Bechinas HaMetzius Dein Seif. the beginning of the metziut of Ein Sof, not the Mehus. World cannot process the Mehus of Ein Sof. It can only relate to the metziut, to know that there is such a thing. What would be a muscle for this?
A muscle for
What can be processed by word, what cannot. The metzius, which is the gilu in the world, and that which is above this gilu. The gilu in world is rak bechinas hametzius the Ein Sof. Bechin is that which is the element of the metzius of Ein Sof. The Atzilus Ein Sof, for the Etzem Ein Sof, harelis mashal v'kisu beiklam. Thought cannot grasp in Atzilus Ein Sof. And therefore, that which is Atzilus Ein Sof is not begili to the world. This is why we say that the beginning of Gilui, of revelation to world, begins from Atzilus. Because above Atzilus is Etzem Ein Sof. And that has no element of Gilui. As the Mishnah, the Gemara says, Menachem Av taught the following to his Talmidim. He says, that the fear of heaven should be upon you like the fear of Basar Adam, of fear of a human. Then he says, stay there. And here's what I mean to say. That and the person is in the midst of doing chas v'shalom something which is not appropriate. Oimer, he thinks to himself, I hope lo yirani odam, that no human being will observe me. Lo yirani odam. Now, let's think about this. He's doing something wrong, and he knows it's wrong. What is yirani odam being observed by another human being do? Is he not exposed? Is he not known to the world, so to speak? The difference between a person being there, a person not being there, is not really a fundamental difference, because he's just as exposed with and without the observer. The difference is that when there is the person, it's called the etzem. Whereas with the absence of the person is only a reflection, only a reminder that there are human beings in the world. Whereas in his presence, then his reality itself is there.
I don't get this. What? If there's another person there, it's reflecting.
It's not reflecting. The other person is a real presence. He cannot. One second. Let me finish it. He cannot obscure the presence of the other person. Say, Because if he's not there. You cannot obscure his presence.
Right.
Shlomo, what's going on?
Might be this guy, I don't know who it is.
Oh, is there, somebody please mute your phone. You cannot obscure. Make believe is not there when a person is actually there present.
Wait, I thought the witness is, he's doing an Aveira, so it's in front of Hashem. So the question is, what does it matter if there's a man there or not? Isn't that the question?
Yes.
If there's no man, he's still seen by God. But if there is a man there, he feels doubly seen.
What is it?
Why? Because the man is kind of a witness.
Where is he going to testify?
It just makes it more in his gedder that there's somebody watching him. Where's he going to testify? It's
not a question of being a testimony.
Right. That's why it's a strange statement, right? And it.
But one second. Before you ask, it's a straight statement. But do we relate to this or not?
I don't get what it's showing us. I probably could relate to it.
No, forget about what it's
I don't
showing.
relate. Do we relate to it?
Yeah.
That if you're doing something embarrassing, you'd rather not be seen?
Yeah.
Hush it.
Okay. That's all. Let's focus into that.
Yeah. Okay.
You go back always back to South Africa. It's
better than Brooklyn in some ways.
Yeah, we do relate to it.
Yeah, we do.
Menachem Av himself says, Teda, here's the proof of it.
But it seems very simple. We do relate to it, yes.
The fact that we relate to it, that's what I'm pointing at. The fact that we relate to it shows a certain level of finer intelligence that we don't even understand.
That I'm not seeing.
But you do relate to it, yeah? Go explain why it is.
Why does it indicate fine intelligence? The person doesn't want to be seen. That's not
doing
something embarrassing.
Yeah, no,
why not?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying it indicaes bullshit. It indicates
a certain intelligence.
Fine level of like.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
We talk about it, like for days, and then say, "Oh yeah, we did mention it." This is what I'm trying to point out. There's intelligence, a God-given intelligence in us that is beyond our own understanding. Even Chochmah cannot be understood fully.
Okay, just getting back to the guy being seen. So you may think he's just like being socially embarrassed. So it's not a very fine intelligence. But actually,
one second.
Actually, we're saying it has to do with busha. It has to do with real grace, and he doesn't want that to be diminished. Is that the intelligence?
No, 1 second. You know what? Don't ask me. Ask yourself. The Menachem Av said, Teda, here's the proof of it. The Menachem Av did not explain himself. So it says, Teda, here's the proof. Shodom Eber Aveira, Oimer Shalayinani Odom. What is that? What is this phenomenon?
And he used it as a proof of what? Of his real human intelligence?
No. I'm explaining to you. He is using, therefore, when they wish that is a very great wish, very significant wish. Meir Shemaim should be Meir Bas Vadam. Meir Shemaim is superior to Meir Bas Vadam. Says no. I'll satisfy if it's like this. Teda. The proof is, he's a human being, and he knows what's wrong and what's right. And right and wrong in Arabic is connected to the Mehus, to Bashefer. And yet, that's not enough. Because kind of hits it on the head more than his fear of heaven. Menachem Av wished them that Menachem Av should be K'meir Bas Adam.
Wait, that wasn't second best. That was his wish for them, or was he saying at least you should have it like this, or was he saying that is the real deal?
That I didn't ask him.
But
this was his bracha.
Yeah, but it does seem like That was his bracha to them.
Yeah.
If only sounds like that would be a minimum.
Okay, I don't know, that you may understand hidden inferences. This is what's his bracha.
I'm just trying to work out if it's the real deal or if it's some minimum requirement, like a minimal level.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Do you understand the minimal level?
Okay.
Rabbi Yehuda didn't go into that. He says, take that. Here's the proof of it. I'm giving you a bracha k'meir basav adam. So he says, what kind of bracha? He says, take that. Here's the proof that my bracha is a valid bracha, is a valuable bracha. Show them Eber Avera. Person's Eber Avera. If he's Eber Avera, means that he is a person who knows what Avera and Mitzvah is. He's not an idiot. He knows what Avera is. And yet, Oimer Sheleirani Odom. What's behind this? Oimer Sheleirani Odom. There is a certain, this is what we're learning. There's oir and ziv, and there is the oir itself. The ziv can be obscured. You see it and you don't see it. Make believe you don't see it. But the oir you cannot obscure. This is reality. Even though when the person stands over there and watches him, he's not affecting him. He's not touching him. He's not interfering with his activities. And yet, he senses its reality to the point where he can do it in that position, that condition. What is this? Where does this come from? And you're trying to put it into a context. It does not have a context. This is what's called the innate human intelligence. It's an instrument of understanding. This does not come from experimentation. There's no scientific way of explaining it. And this is what I'm pointing out. The proof of it is simply the way Rabbi Yehuda himself is presenting it. He says here, that should be enough. He says, no, I have a proof of it. And the proof is not because he's explaining how come it's like this. He says, here's a fact. This fact speaks louder than words. Now you go and dig into the human mentality and see what's behind it. This is what we're learning over here. There is a ziv the way it is in Atzilus. That's a gilui. Above Atzilus, there is no gilui. There's no way to understand what is the oil itself as it is above Atzilus. And this is what the Rebbe is explaining over here. Okay, we have the line at the end of the line. It's lihiyois, lihiyois, being the fact ki hagilui b'olamos that the revelation in worlds hu rag bechinas hametzias ein is only what it reveals in the world is the bechinas hametzias, the bechina of the metzias of ein, not the Mehus, not what it stands for, but its presence. That presence. When we say, that presence, it does not say anything. But this is a presence beyond human understanding. You cannot obscure the presence of another human being in your mind. This is beyond containment. In other words, beyond gilui in the world. It's a presence. In the world, Gilui is that which you can take into Kalim and see it and not see it by choice. This you cannot obscure. So Gilui in Omesh is only the metziut. And that the metziut of Ein Sof. So what does the world know about Ein Sof? That it exists. And that is sufficient to make the world stand up. Like we said, there's a human being there, and there's no way you can obscure that knowledge. This is what Mechinas Amitzius. The Atzilus Ein Sof Hareis Mashov Tvisur Beiklal. The Atzim of Ein Sof. This is the Metzius of Ein Sof. But what the Atzilus Ein Sof, the Atzim, what it really stands for, what it really represents, what is its profound truth, Leis Mashov Tvisur Beiklal. Thought cannot grasp that at all. There is no way that you can put it in perspective and know what it is that you're observing. Ve'alkein, and thus Atzilus who has called us Agilui. Atzilus, this is the beginning of Gilui, of revelation. Because Atzilus what's going on?
The Wi-Fi issue, something. I don't know.
Atzilus reveals the metziut of Ein Sof. And that's why that is a Gilin world. Because all world can really appreciate is a metziut of Ein Sof. But that which is above Atzilus, Shezeh Bechinas Ho Atzmus, which is the beginning of the Atzmus, not the metziut of Ein Sof, but the Atzmus itself. Harezeh Bechinas Helam. This is Bebchinas Helam. This is in a Helam state, which means the world has no access to it. World has no way to process that knowledge. Okay, I guess this is it for this moment. Okay, have a great day.
Disconnected.
The answer is frustrated on this one. Right?
Yeah.